welcome to this Plan With Me video where I will be setting up my bullet journal for October. This is my first monthly setup in my new Archer and Olive notebook, so I just wanted to start by flipping through the first couple of pages I set up in this notebook. My theme for this month is harvest, so I'm starting out by drawing these stalks of wheat and blades of grass in the foreground of my illustration, and I'm going for a very sketchy style this month, so I'm just going over the lines very loosely and multiple times to achieve this very sort of raggedy, sketchy look. In the background of the illustration, I'm going to draw these hills or fields going across the page, and on one of the fields there's a tractor, which is what you see me drawing right now. I put a machine on the back of the tractor that is just sort of improvised, but looking at it now I think it looks more like a sewing machine than it does a harvest machine, but oh well. I'm not a machine expert, and I like how it looks anyway. I continued with the messy, sketchy look for all the titles in this setup, and it was really funny to make the titles this way and just go a little crazy with how I was writing, and I thought it matched the style of the drawings as well, and I really like how it looks. After I was done with all the lines, it was time to add color, and of course I went with a very fall-inspired color scheme for this harvest theme. So the heaviest colors are orange and red, and various variations of those colors. When I was coloring in the fields, I was trying to follow the curve of the hills in these lines that was just slightly overlapping. So the overlapping parts where the color went a little darker would look like the rows in a field. I don't know if I exactly achieved that effect, but once again I still like how it turned out. In fact, I really just like how this entire setup turned out. I think it might be my favorite setup I've ever done so far, and that's just such a lovely feeling to have before getting started with a new month. next page I'm setting up is my expense tracker, and as usually it's just a very simple table to track what money I am spending throughout the month. And to decorate this, I'm just drawing a few stalks of wheat in the foreground again. On the page next to that, I am setting up my habit tracker, which I am doing by having 4 mini calendars on the side and a decoration of these hills or fields in a panel in the middle. You could easily fit at least twice as many habit trackers onto this page. I just am only tracking 4 habits. And if you wanted to also make room for a mood tracker, you could easily have that on this page as well by sectioning the illustration into 31 parts and then coloring it in every day according to your mood, instead of coloring it in the way I am doing it now. I hope that makes sense. The next page is my notes page, which is a very simple page that just has a lot of space for me to write down any thoughts and ideas I want to put on paper throughout the month. So the only thing I am drawing on this page is a border around the edges and then more of these hills at the bottom. And of course a title at the top. I also decided to add a quote to this page, which reads, "Den der sår vind høster storm," which roughly translates to, "If you sow wind, you harvest storms," which isn't exactly a positive quote, but I thought it went really well with this theme. Obviously, it has the word harvest in it, but also this time of year just really makes me think of windy, stormy days, so I thought it went really well together. The last pages I'm setting up are my weekly setups, and I'm actually doing something slightly different this month by setting up all of my weekly pages in advance. Since this last month I have been really busy over the weekends where I usually set up my weekly pages, and the next month won't be any different. So I thought I would do myself a favor and just knock all of them out. But since I'm doing the same layout every week, I'm only showing you the setup for the first one. The layout I'm using is called the Alistair method, or the rolling task list or rolling weekly. The one thing that is different on my weekly pages is that I'm drawing different crops or vegetables in the corner of each of these weekly pages. And I tried to make it seasonal crops for where I live here in Denmark, but most of the crops that are in season this time of year are all root-like vegetables. On this page is a beetroot, and then on the next page is an onion, which I don't think technically is in season right now. But then I got a carrot, and of course for the last week of October I got a pumpkin for Halloween. I decided to keep the vegetable drawings just black and white because I really loved how they turned out. Who would have thought I loved drawing vegetables so much? At least the ones I drew for this setup I really enjoyed drawing. But then I just colored in the hills behind the vegetables and gave them a little bit of a drop's shadow, where I went over with the marker extra times behind the vegetables to make them pop out a little bit more. That is all for this setup, and like I said in the beginning, I'm really happy with how this turned out, so I hope you like it too. I'm really happy that you watched this video, and if you liked it, please leave a like, but really just thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye!